is this symbiotic relationship between ritual killings and then Nollywood movies or theater art. So do you agree? Let's start with that. Do you agree with that?
This is a very good question. I myself have been worried, I must confess to you, when I watch African Magic sometimes and it portrays, some of these ritual processes that leads into violence, killing, maiming, removing, showing that, the breast is removed, whatever is removed, blood in the land. And I felt that maybe, and especially when we do not introduce some sort of control on our television.
Rajana Ranaut, one of India's highest paid actresses and filmmaker who works in Hindi films, known for her versatility and portrayal of a strong woman in female-centric films. She once said, "It's not like what I do or what I wear is my copyright. What I'm wearing now also is an inspiration. It is how I saw it on the mannequin. And I just wore it. So it is in a way copied, but obviously I wouldn't want to spend my life thinking about dresses. It is such a waste of life." All right, then let's move and take other quotes to see if we'll get an understanding of what we will be discussing today. The next one is coming from Aristotle, an ancient Greek philosopher and scientist. He's one of the greatest intellectual figures of Western history. He once said, "The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet." I agree. All right, our third quote is coming from Albert Einstein, German-born theoretical physicist, widely acknowledged to be one of the greatest and most influential physicists of all time. He once said, "Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school." Absolutely spot on. Now let's take our last quote. And this one is from Mahatma Gandhi, like every other person, or his full name, which is Mahatma Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, an Indian lawyer, anti-colonial nationalist, and political ethicist who employed non-violent resistance to lead the successful campaign for Indians' independence from the British rule, and to later inspire movements for civic rights and freedom across the world. He once said, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever." Great inspiring words from very important personalities. Warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabelle Oji. Now let's see how all of this quote relate to what we will be discussing today. World Book and Copyright Day, which is today, is an annual event to promote reading, publishing, and copyright, organized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. Now, since 1995, the 23rd of April has been a day to celebrate content creators and the laws that protect their work. World Book and Copyright Day is a celebration to promote the enjoyment of books and reading. So, in honor of World Book and Copyright Day, we'll start this conversation by taking a look at some of our favorite sentiments on copyright from the past years with our guest on the show today. He is Professor Abdul Rashid Naala, Nigerian writer, scholar, poet, critical thinker, educator, grade 2 teacher certified, co-founder Ilorin Vanguard from 1990 to 1994. He's also a member of Canada Comparative Literature Association. He's also Flora Umpwa Society. And then he is a member, International Comparative Literature Association, African Studies Association, African Literature Association. Quite a long list, but that's just even a cross-section of what Professor Abdul-Rasheed Na'Allah is. He has been listed as a notable writer, educator, and Marquis Who's Who. He wrote the article on Kwame Anthony Appiah for the Oxford Encyclopedia of African Thought. Another thing that he was the past VC of Kwara State University, and he is currently the Vice Chancellor and CEO of the University of Abuja. Like I said, he has a very long bio, but that's just a cross-section of it. You get to meet him after this time out. Please join us again. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation, and we're reaching you from Kaftans Television here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now, if you just joined us, you're right in time for the interview, as we have our guest. He is Professor Abdul-Rasheed Na'Allah. He is the former Vice Chancellor of Kwara State University from 2015 to 2019, and he's currently the Vice Chancellor and CEO of University of Abuja. Great to have you, sir.
Thank you so much.
It is a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Same here. All right, now, so let's start by getting your thought on World Book Day. Okay. Today is World Book Day and Copyright Day. We will definitely talk about a lot of things, but let's start by scratching the surface on World Book and Copyright Day, and then reading culture in Nigeria and also in Africa generally. So what are your thoughts on that? Because a lot of people will say that reading culture is under threat. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for asking me these questions. Today is a great day. Any day that is for the book is a great day, because the book is about knowledge, it's about information, it's about knowledge regarding all aspects of life, regarding development, regarding humanity, science, just knowledge of culture, just knowledge of literary fiction, drama, all whatnot. So to have today as a World Book Day is actually telling the world the importance of the book. And I know that declaring today for celebrating globally as a World Book Day is intended to encourage the whole world, to take book even more seriously, to see what they can get out of the book. The book is so central, to human development. As far as I'm concerned, it's a great day. It's the kind of day that we should be having every day. Every day should be the book day. That's the way I say it, sincerely. And if you look at our realities in Nigeria, in Africa, often people say people don't read. Even surprisingly, people in universities, in educational institutions, you'll be surprised at how abysmal really it is in the reading culture in virtually everywhere. So you are right that the reading culture is in danger. There's a general threat for the book. The book is like a dangerous species, you know what I'm saying? The kind of thing people say. And I think it's really dangerous. And having a World Book Day is to call the attention of everybody. More so now that we have electronic technology. Some people have even said we are in post-book era. Can you believe that? I've heard people say that. That is the time of, I've heard people say that. They thought even the library should be no more. I was in a venue where people are saying there's no need for a library anymore because of electronic technology, because you can get into your room and open e-book. I said, well, why is the book there? Why is it e-book? E-book is not important. The book does not necessarily have to even be in print. It can be electronic technology, it can be an electronic book.
Okay.
But whether it is in print or in print, in electronic, what is important is that book is central to
All
human
right.
development. And believe me, people enjoy life just by reading. Because you acquire knowledge. Have you ever seen people reading and laughing and just being happy just because they are reading? If you want a friend that's not dangerous, that will increase you, that will add to your dignity, that will make you have knowledge, that will, you'll be creating imagination for yourself, thinking about this, thinking about that, becoming a better human being, and so on and so forth. It is the book.
Professor Donala, the passion that you use in when you're expressing about the book, it just shows that you're not just an author. You love book. Now, so that that adage that they used to say that time when you want to hide something from Africans, put it in a book, because Africans don't like to read. So how does that adage resonate with you?
It's an unfortunate adage. It shouldn't be like that. But I, for one, I cannot really fault people who say that, because the truth is that we've allowed ourselves really to be portrayed as people who do not love books. But really, if you look at our culture, yes, we are people of performance in nature, in the sense that orality is about performance, the singing, the dancing, even the herbalists, they have tradition that is oral. The medical people in traditional Africa, their tradition is oral. And through orality, they take delivery, they take care of a person, they give you medication, they chant. But even at that, it does not mean that it's a culture that is against book, because book is about knowledge, and Africa is about knowledge. When you talk about scholars are not new thing to Africa. Our oral tradition, people are scholars. You call them oral scholars if that's what you call them. You go to a village and listen to a farmer dissect the world from his own perspective. He understands what is going on. He can analyze and bring the knowledge, the wisdom that he has learned from his oral community into contemporary realities, the realities of cell phone, of smartphone, of whatever it is. He will dissect it right there at the village. So knowledge is not something strange to us. And the book is about knowledge. It's about entertainment. It's about so many things, discovery and so on. So
Okay.
I would think that it's high time we realize the centrality of the book, and as Africans, stop allowing people to make jest of us, because I feel it's like not understanding what Africa is about, by saying that if you want to deceive Africa, if you want to do them to know, just put it in a book. Come on.
All right.
That shouldn't be so.
All right. Since we are commemorating World Copyright Day, now you an author, so how has it been for you? How much, or as a Nigerian writer and a poet, a critical thinker, how much have we done in terms of copyright? Because I'm sure you must have faced some.
Yeah, well, in Nigeria, we kind of, most writers don't even talk about it. So many writers are angry. If angry would be the right word, are disappointed, totally disappointed, in the sense that they felt that their nation is not assisting them in terms of, just the copyright and for them to earn what truly belongs to them. Because when you have a copyright of a material, that means nobody can use that material without your knowledge. If they want to use for educational purposes, there is a law that guides even such usage. But what we have in our country are people from educational institutions, from the community, businesses, sometimes infringing on copyright by taking over materials that are copyrighted and doing anything that they do with it. They copy it, photocopy, they, even remove part of it. Imagine somebody getting a book and just, go to libraries and see the damage that young people have done to books. But I know that this has been a debate for some time in Nigeria, and I know that authors such as myself have raised a lot of concern, and I know that government is actually addressing this. In fact, recently I heard that the National Assembly is bringing out a law a regulation approved by the National Assembly, to safeguard copyright. If this is finally approved by the president, it will be a great day indeed for Nigeria. Not that there was no law before, but a lot of loopholes, and I think what they are trying to do is to, close those loopholes and create copyright laws that will really help. You see, what is important about it? Creativity, talents, originality of ideas. What all these laws, the copyright law does, is to protect them, to ensure that a nation like Nigeria will earn tremendously from it. If you protect copyrights, even Nigeria will be better off for it, because some money will be generated, from products by Nigerians, within Nigeria, but also internationally. So it's a very, very good day for Nigeria, that we are now talking about copyright laws, and that the National Assembly is really concerned about it and is taking action.
All right, now taking a cue from what you just said and where you landed, personally, now how much do you think that over 2 decades of democracy have helped copyright, patent protection, and regulation in Nigeria? How best have we been able to protect people like you? Because this is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It is a big, especially in Nigeria. So how much have they been able to protect you?
Well, if today the National Assembly is now doing it, I guess it's within, the democratic dispensation, and really, but it has come a long way. I mean, you'll be disappointed that we had the First Republic, we had, democracy after Shagari, we had, which ended in 83. We had, even during military, who says military shouldn't have protected copyright of people? It's not about the gun, it's about knowledge. It's about creativity, it's about originality, it's about protecting cultural, productivity of this nation, and ensuring that we respect it and that we actually ensure that patents and all those things are properly documented and properly protected by law. So I would say that better be late than never. That's what I would say. Now that the National Assembly is taking it up, and recently it was read, and the president of the Senate, specifically, read out all of this, and it was approved by the Senate. And hopefully, I understand there's a joint committee that really did this work. And now I hope the president will assent to it, and it will be a new day for Nigeria, new day for authors, new day for creative thinkers and writers. And copyright is not just about creative writing, it's about all sorts of writing, whether it is scientific or cultural or technological, any sort of writing, protecting the copyright and protecting Nigeria. So because it's really about dignity of this nation.
So you're optimistic about the move by the National Assembly?
I am very optimistic.
Oh, great.
I am very, because the reason I am is that I think they've come to realize that this is very crucial. Okay. And believe me, people are not keeping quiet. There are so many, copyright organizations, even in Nigeria, who have been working, who have been asking questions, who have been pushing. And I think everything just came together in the action recently by the Joint Committee of the National Assembly, of the Senate, so to say, who is now taking action.
All right, so now whenever I come in contact with a scholar, a critical thinker, a poet, or a playwright, one question that reverberates in my mind is when the federal government talked about trying to curb ritual killings in Nigeria, and then they talked about there's this symbiotic relationship between ritual killings and then Nollywood movies or theater art. So do you agree? Let's start with that. Do you agree with that?
This is a very good question. I myself have been worried, I must confess to you, when I watch African Magic sometimes, and it portrays, some of these ritual processes that leads into violence, killing, maiming, removing, showing that, the breast is removed, whatever is removed, blood in the land. And I felt that maybe, and especially when we do not introduce some sort of control on our television. Yes, you might just say this is for adults watch or whatever, but everybody in Nigeria watch African Magic. Children are in front of it watching. Nobody stops anybody. And I think, yes, even in the most, how will I put it now? The most, directed, best intended, writings or creativity still needs a processes in which you classify them. We have adult literature. Okay, adult literature should be adult literature. If you write because you have freedom to write, and nobody should stop anybody from writing, there should be freedom from writing, but whatever you write or whatever you create, whatever film you make, there should be a determination whether young people should be open to it.
Okay.
I personally agree totally that, allowing people into violence who are young people, who are just making their minds, who are young people don't even, look at the way traditional Africa helped develop young people through folk tales. And the folk tales is always about what is wrong, what is right. If the tortoise misbehaves and thinks he can get away, he cannot get away with it. That is the tradition of Africa. You see, they will bring, different kinds of characters in a folk tale. And the characters will always go in favor of what is right. At least what society claims to be the right thing. That is not what African Magic does sometimes. That's what I'm saying. So I will agree that we're not doing enough control in terms of, what we show on our television sometimes. But this, again, cannot be a general perspective, know. This is limited only to violence that we see on television. And I say African Magic because if you look at it, most of our local language, African Magic are very, very popular. Very, very popular. Go to Yoruba, go to Hausa, go to Igbo. So many people are watching from the communities. Young people are watching. There has to be a way. And the only way you can do it, perhaps, is for our government, to engage in a dialogue. Our universities to engage in a dialogue. To now say, as a nation, what do we do moving forward to avoid this kind of violence? Look at what you hear. Somebody is killed somewhere, they remove all her parts. We hear this all the time. You read this in the newspaper. Where is this coming from? Is this African way of life? It's not. Of course it's not. Otherwise, we will not have those folk tales that said you cannot do those kind of things.
So, Professor, do you believe that actually things they see in the movies
some
influence
want to
restive
play
youths?
it. I believe so.
Okay.
Because, if you don't believe so, then you are underestimating the power of art. Art is so powerful. If you want to mobilize a whole nation, you go through arts. Why do we talk about theater for development? Because theater can mobilize. When they started MAMSA in Nigeria some many years ago, or they started War Against Indiscipline so many years ago, why were they going, performing and trying to mobilize people? And it is because theater has certain power to mobilize people towards a given target. And it's happening. And what is happening, unfortunately, through some of these violent, drama, in which people are killed, people are maimed, and more so women. You find a situation in which you are watching drama and women are being abused. Who does that? Which nation do it? Are we trying to be America? Are we trying to be United Kingdom or other part of the world? Do they even do that over there? Look at the way they protect their children. Okay. It's never going to happen. You can never. If you're a mother in an American home and you allow your children to watch those things and this information gets out, you are going to jail.
Okay, so Professor Nala, let me now ask. So
you will go to jail.
And then you have, you are a playwright.
Yes, I'm a playwright.
And the job of a playwright is to write script for theoretical art.
Sure.
So now it means the box starts at your table.
Yeah.
So now,
I agree with
and
you.
then you have the federal government saying that they need to clamp down on this kind of movies, content from Nollywood actors or from theater arts. So it means that it starts with you. So that means they have to stop the kind of content that you write and distribute to the public.
That's not what it is.
Okay.
What it is that there should be some regulations.
Okay.
I mean, you classify. Some people have a right to watch it because maybe that is their interests. But it should be people who are qualified to watch it in terms of age, in terms of, you know, there will just be certain categorization. Societies have different things. People have different dreams. You cannot kill art. You cannot kill creativity. You cannot you kill innovation. You can't do that. But you can, as a nation, make a decision about what it is should be exposed to who.
Okay.
Young people should not be exposed to violence. It is wrong to have a woman who is only trying to succeed, you know, violently killed on the page of television. Drama. Young people don't think it is just drama. They think it's reality. I mean, you find some people watching drama and shouting, "Oh my God, please don't kill him."
All right, now, so you have some theater arts and or playwrights who has said that everything that they act in the studio or in the stage performance, they're a reflection of the everyday society.
Yeah.
So then if it means that there's definitely the killings, there's definitely the ritual killings, the drug abuse and misuse, there's definitely the kidnappings and all. So they are trying to reflect or act out what the script on what they see. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
But that is correct. That is correct. Many playwrights reflect society. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to look at what is happening and make a message. Arts in Africa is about engagement. There's always the social message to it. The intention of the artist is to really critique sometimes or expose, but always having a message saying. The point I'm making is that, yes, the artist has a right. There should be that free license to reflect society. But there has to be control. You cannot expose young people to violence, period.
So how do you go about this control?
Well, government will have to bring out regulations. There has to be a way in which African magic should not just be beamed everywhere to every age, you know, to every community. It's not acceptable. Parents should have control over who watch what, and parents should be accountable to society if they introduce young people to violence. They should be accountable to society. I mean, education institutions have what they need in those kind of things to teach. If I want to teach something in the university and I want to reflect them, I will look for those arts in my literature class, in my theater class. I want to show it so that we can analyze it. So if it's not there, how do I, you know, get that kind of knowledge out to my young people, to my students? But when it comes to general television, which is really where the problem is, just what people watch outside the general one, then there has to be a control. No society allows things anyhow. It's not that. I mean, we are the second largest film industry in the world. Nollywood is the second largest film industry in the world. But as useful as it is, as great as it is bringing huge resources to Nigeria, you know, as great as we are sending it all over the world, it is also so great if Nigeria say, wait a minute, how do we protect our communities, the Nigerian nation, from whatever could be dangerous from these products? Even food can be dangerous, you know that? You know, so the fact that there are a lot of useful things in art does not mean that there might not be danger in art. I mean, look at somebody who just writes pornography. Are you saying it should just be allowed in the society? I'm not saying you shouldn't write it. You know, that is his profession, right? He thinks he writes romance, but he puts a lot of. There might be some audience that will read it, but those audience should also be controlled by government. There's nothing wrong with that. If you must be an adult, you must be this age. Why do you go to buy alcohol and they say you're a young child, you cannot buy alcohol? Is it not because society is trying to protect certain age?
But how far have they actually gone?
That is
regard?
The point, and that is why I'm saying we have not done much. We have not done enough, and I hope that this copyright law that they are putting together all these processes that they are trying to reinvigorate and ensure Nigeria benefit greatly from Nollywood, from the film industry, in which we are the second largest producer in the world, that we are also very conscious of ensuring that society benefit comes out of it, far better. And the only way you can do it is look at the content of what we are producing. Don't stop anybody from the production, but make sure that the consumers, are the right consumers of it. That's all we have to do.
All right, so clearly Professor Abdulrasheed Na'Allah has a lot to say in this conversation, and we will definitely unravel it after this time out. Please join us again.
How is that professor assessed? In Nigeria we don't assess professors. You know that? Once you're a professor, no more assessment. I mean, that is rubbish. Who does that in the world? What great nation will leave the highest people who are the most matured in academia unassessed? Only in Nigeria.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Caftans Television here in the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, you missed quite a lot because we're talking to Professor Abdulrasheed Na'Allah. He is the Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja. All right, before we went on that break, we've said quite a lot of things regarding to copyright and book reading. Now let's divert a little bit and talk about one of your books, Almajiri, A New African Poetry. That's actually a collection of poems that explores the voices of Almajiri, the street beggars, and the street beggar poet among the Hausa, Fulani, and the Yorubas. Now, with regards to that group of people, the Almajiris, a lot has been done, has been done in regards to trying to reunite them with their families. But then it looks as if it's not working as much as the government keeps doing, current government and previous government. And then you have the SGF, that's Boss Mustafa, who had actually said that if we do not check this group of people, the Almajiris, they will become, okay, let me take it exactly the way he quoted it here. He said, if we do not deal with the issues relating to the Almajiris, we are building an army that would overwhelm us as a people and as a nation in future. What are your thoughts on that, Professor?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that a lot. That book I wrote so many years ago, I was actually in Canada during my PhD years when I authored that book. It's a very important book, but really what I'm trying to do there is to address this issue of Almajiri in poetic forms. Who is an Almajiri? People in Nigeria have missed, a lot of this. Almajiri is not just the young people who are trying to learn, who goes to Quranic school, who learn, Quranic education, who therefore goes around begging for their teachers because the teacher is not paid salary. The teacher does not earn anything. So it's the money that their pupils bring back that they actually, use, or the food that the pupils bring back that they share. So you have some of them go around and they chant, they go to people's houses, they litter everywhere, bani pada da mata enwana sun kada kasu dem so bani karin kumallo. I mean, they do a lot of things. They sing, they chant, they beg, and you see them with little plates going around. But when they get this food, they actually go back. They go back home, they share, and nobody cares for them. Some of them come from far, some of them come from near. They all gather with this Malam who is teaching them, who is not paid by government, who is not recognized by anybody. Perhaps those are the kind of people that Boss Mustafa is talking about. Okay. That they are everywhere, it could be dangerous. There's another set of Almajiri. Okay. Sometimes elderly, sometimes blind, sometimes crippled. They go around, they beg, they get money. They are in different places. They're also Almajiri. And they do their thing. Some of them are very vast in knowledge. Some of them is because they are physically challenged. that they cannot work and therefore they beg. They're also Almajiri. Now, the point at which we got it wrong in Nigeria is to feel that certain population of people, can be just disregarded, totally eliminated from the system of our nation. It's a blunder that we have made in this nation, that we have refused to acknowledge. These people are not illiterate. These people learn how to read and write. It may not be in Western education. It could be, it is in Quranic education, but they are literate. Why is it that the kind of education that we've been having in this nation, even before the missionaries, before colonization, we just eliminated it? Nobody recognizes their knowledge. Nobody recognizes their certificate if they ever earn any. Nobody tries to dictate and say, look, this is a nation. Nothing happens in a nation without the knowledge of its government, without the control of its government. Therefore, if you're going to do this Quranic education, we have to put it in a curriculum, issue certification, let them be employed like any other person at different levels of our life. It could be private employment, it could be public employment, but recognize them. We don't recognize them because we are now, Western British controlled or colonized, and now we think that those kind of knowledge are no longer important. And we eliminated them. And today, we are paying dearly for it because most of these people are still there. One, no matter what campaign has been done, they have not changed their interest in going to Quranic school. No matter what campaign we have done. If you say, I hear many people, they will say, some people are illiterate. And I watch them and I say, you don't even know what you're talking about. What's the meaning of literacy? Is literacy dictated by English alone? Even if all I know is Yoruba, and that's all I can write, I'm literate. It doesn't have to be English. Those days, they use Arabic writing system to write even Yoruba, Hausa. You can even use it to write English. Go to some nations of the world. Their own language is written in that kind of thing that we call Ajami. So I think what Boss Mustafa is saying, really, if I understand him correctly, is that the nation has to stand up. And I'm not even blaming the federal government. I think it's our local governments, our state government, that are very close to these levels of people that must take the ball by the horn, understand that they have certain population of people who are interested in a different kinds of education system, recognize that education system, grade it, participate in curriculum development. If you want them to add this subject or that subject, do it. Pay their teachers. These people are not stopping. They are not going away. Recognize and pay their teachers. Let the student live a better life and know what they are doing, know what is going on in this nation. There's no way we can refuse to recognize population. These are Nigerians too. As a nation, how do you just ignore your people? That is what is going on.
So now we're having the government talking about census coming up next year.
Okay.
They should definitely be among the people that should be counted.
Absolutely. So that you know that no nation, I just said it, no nation neglects its people.
Okay.
Every nation knows where you are as a citizen. Whether you live inside waters or you live on a mountain or you live in the most secrets of places, every nation knows its people. And every nation counts those people and include them in the planning of that nation into future.
Okay.
What happens to them? What work are they doing? How can we take development to them? How can we respond to their aspirations? How can we also mold them to fit into the aspirations of the nation? The nation wants development. We want development in science, we want development in technology, we want development in culture. How are they going to be relevant to this? Yes, if they say this is what is important to them, it is not coming to Western education, it is into Arabic education, the nation will have to respond to that and seize that opportunity to influence the curriculum.
So how do they start? How do we start this move? We're looking forward to a next election.
We have to do it.
And then how do you inculcate these people?
You see, it's not really about this election. It's about everyday idea of a Nigerian nation. It's about where this nation wants to go. It's about the fact that our citizens, some of them Almajiri, So those who are, you can interpret that Almajiri to mean puppies. Those who are going through Quranic school, and you can interpret it to mean that those sectors or those sections of Almajiri are our citizens, and that they deserve, you know, to be catered for as a nation. They deserve to be known. Who are they? Where are they going to this school? What is the condition? Some of them just die on the street. A vehicle may be coming and knock some of them out, they die. Nobody asks for them. Their parents don't even know. I mean, how can a nation just abandon them? I've never seen this in my life, and I've traveled all over this world, and I've not seen a nation abandoning its citizens just because they are not doing Western education. Come on. Come on. If that is our situation, we don't have the luxury to dictate and determine that it's only one thing that we're going to do. It is the people that determine what you do as a government, as a nation. I mean, what if your people love that certain kind of food, are you going to force them not to eat it and say this is the new food that will bring, stop eating that, even if they tell you that is all they will eat? I mean, we have cultures in this country, and our cultures are different. Part of the strength of this country is diversity. That's part of our strength. And it's better we embrace our reality as a nation. And that's what I was trying to do in that book, Almajiri. It's a very long, I think it probably was published in early 2000, but I probably wrote it around 1998 or 90s. I can't remember now, but it is a book that I've done, and I address all sort of, you know, this matter, you know, both the Almajiri of young people and the Almajiri of the elderly, who is going about begging. You see him in Lagos, you see him in Ilorin, you see him in Kaduna, you see him in everywhere in Nigeria. Some of them have sticks. If they are blind, they are going around, they sing, you know, along. Some of their songs even address what is going on in society. You know, they will tell you, because they are also artists in a way, right? They are artists in a way, you know. So we have a beautiful society, but we are not responding to the needs of that society. And it's unfortunate.
Quite sad. All right, now let's divert a little again and then talk about education in Nigeria. Now, like we know that it takes time for things to get rotten or decay, and it takes time for people who are trying to put it together to be able to do that. Now, you have decades of rot, like some people have said, in the education sector, but then you have conscious effort from people trying to ensure that these decades are, decadence are being thrown away, and then you put the things right. So talking about the decadence that you see in the education sector, you talk about months of strike actions, industrial actions. You talk about the federal government and the ASUU tussle. And then some people will say, even my great-grandchildren have witnessed the ASUU strike. So are we ever going to get it right in terms of that sector in Nigeria?
We have to. We have no choice. If we are going to be serious as a nation, if we're going to develop, if we're going to be competitive with other nations of the world, if we're going to have a nation that benefits greatly from the university system, from its educational system, if we're going to really be a nation that is counted seriously in terms of, you know, who we are as a nation in the Committee of Nations, then we have to get it right. We have to get it right. We cannot continue like this, sincerely speaking, because it's becoming a mockery of nationhood. Believe me. I mean, you cannot have a situation in which university will just be closed for months. I mean, even the whole idea of courtism, all the crisis in the university system, if you ask me, I would say this is the cause. Because when you send children to home, some of them don't go home. Some of them form gangs and groups and become real danger to society. I mean, these are some, and when they come back to the university, they start misbehaving, killing people, murdering people, raping. I mean, you cannot, doing drugs, real drugs. Where did they get all this from? I mean, many of them, it's because of all this closure today, closing tomorrow, all of that. And I blame everybody. I don't think it's just government alone. I think it's also, you know, all of us, teachers also inclusive. The truth is that this nation belongs to all of us. This nation is not just for government or people in government. You are in government too. We're all part of government, right? If we want to define what government is. But the truth is also that, you know, as teachers, we are at the center of what this nation must be through our research, through our community development, through the way we teach people, through the way we collaborate with industries, through the way we really even teach, you know, what is right and what is wrong. So I think we better get our acts together. We better get our acts together. I mean, Singapore is not coming back. It's going. It's flying. It's already defined as a first nation. What is Singapore to Nigeria in 1960? What is Singapore to Nigeria in 1970? You know, Malaysia is gone. Brazil is gone. Every nation, India, look at what India has developed in the world. Universities are in the forefront of making that happen. Their universities don't close in one day, even when they have issues of funding. It's not the solution to anything. It's antithetical to everything development. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Because look, just imagine this. You are a professor and you stop teaching for 3-4 months. You don't even do things that are about your personal development. 3-4 months will make you form certain habits. Maybe you find some other things doing around that time. When you come back, there's no way you'll be able to give your total attention to it again. No way. Some other habit has taken over. Students have gone home. They become involved in some characters. You think when they come back after 3 months, they will be the same? They're not going to be the same. Who is losing? Is it not this nation? We have to find another ways of realizing it. And government must realize that, you know, it's about this nation. It's about what is right. I mean, how do you neglect university to the extent that laboratories have no equipment, libraries have no books? I mean, it is just not done. I mean, what I think government is about is a commitment, is a trust on behalf of the people to take a nation to the highest level. That is what government is about. So if everybody does not sit down to say, what must we do, you know, to ensure that we have a great university system? I mean, I have universities where teachers don't even go to class anymore, and they collect salary every month.
Now, Professor Mala, you've actually said a lot of things now, because you have a lot of people who do not accept that we all are the problem. They just say they throw the blames to the federal government. But then you have had this decadence. It has been there, even not today. It didn't start today. Even in the Fourth Republic, it didn't start in the Fourth Republic. It's been there it's been a long time coming. So now you have all of these issues laid down. So I'm going to ask you these 2 questions, and I'd like you to take them in one breath. Now, who exactly is hampering the effort of the other person? Is it the federal government, the political actors, like some people have said, or is it the parents? Who exactly is hampering each other's efforts? And then the second question is, at this point, who will bail the cat?
Well, I think everybody is at fault. The parents are totally negligent. Parents are not asking questions. They don't ask no questions. I mean, parents have accepted their children home. Have they cried out? None. No parent has cried out. No parent has told teachers and government, finish this act. We want our children to receive education. They have not done it. A parent will have sent his child to primary school, send a child to secondary school, send a child to university. The child finishes, the child is married, and the parent is still taking care of the child and his wife, the boy and his wife. Is that right? Has the parent complained? No. Nigeria, we just sit down there and we thought, what about the government? Government, you know, as it be serious, all the government will tell you is that they have other means. They have what percentage of funding are they committing to education? What about the teacher? I mean, the university teacher, how much is he really dedicated to ensuring that he's a true academic in the true sense of the word? He's not doing it, or she's not doing it. So the truth is that, you know, everybody is at fault. And really, when you have a situation in which we're all at fault, we have to really go back and sit down and think through. The love must be for Nigeria. The love cannot be for an individual. In a nation where even the nation, we are told that the country is borrowing money. I don't know if that is true or not. I mean, who should be the first person to know? We should be the first person to know as academic. We must know what is going on. We must know our economic system, what is going on, what is entering this nation, what is not, because we do research all the time.
So how about the academics rather? Do they have a fault in all of this?
They have. That's what I say, teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, they are teachers. Academics are teachers, are researchers. Are they doing research? Are they collaborating with industry? Are they doing, is it government alone that will fund universities? It's not done. You know, government does its part. Academics bring money from all over. They work with industries, work with others. There's no best public university in the world that is 100% run by government. None. Is it in United States, United Nations, or in Britain, where most of their universities are by government? I mean, if you look at how much government is putting in it, and you look at what they're bringing in terms of research, grants, in terms of work with industry and all of that, it's almost the same. You know, what are we doing in Nigeria? So the point is, the question you say, who's going to bury the cat? Is that what you said?
Who's going to bail the cat?
Bail the cat, that's what you said. Well, I think maybe parents would be the right people to say, to call everybody to order and say enough is enough. Imagine a parent who found it difficult to earn. He earns little money. This money should go to provide food at home. Unfortunately, he has to send his child to this primary school that is private, and part of this money that is going to feed with is paying tuition, 300,000, 400,000. At the end of the day, how much food has this parent ate? She is in total poverty. Yes, she's sending her child because she loves the child. She wants the child to be somebody, to that private school. Our public schools are nothing to write home about. That is why I said it is that parent, because she's not talking. She would rather just put the money, go hungry without doing nothing. She does not complain. When it's time for election, the same parent is the one that will be running around voting for this or for that just because they have given him little money, right?
All right, Professor, I don't know if I will agree that a lot of parents are not complaining.
They are not, and they are not doing the right thing. And truly speaking, a nation that is going to be great cannot be led for governments alone, cannot be left for workers alone. A nation that is going to be great must be a total participation of everybody, the parents in particular. Parents must always ask questions. People take exam. NECO release results. 90% of people fail. Parents should cry outrage. There should be some outrage all over the nation. What is going on? What has happened? People should ask questions. Nobody is asking questions.
All right. Now, you have some arguments coming from the lawmakers saying that they should stop public officers, children, from going abroad to study so as to fast-track the process of building Nigerian education sector. Very quickly, do you agree with that?
That's illegal now. How can you tell a person not to spend their money the way they want to spend it? That's illegal. You begin to curtail the rights of human beings. You are creating another problem. If you have money and you feel that Nigerian education is not it for you, or you want somebody to go and learn French, but not in Nigeria, you want her to go to France, why should a government tell you not to do it? That is rubbish. That doesn't make sense. That is not going to help us to develop. What will help us to develop is to make our education very attractive. Our professors are working. Okay, look at these so-called negotiations they do every day. When has this negotiation been a balanced negotiation? As far as I'm concerned, it's not balanced. If you want to do a balanced negotiation, everybody put something on the table. The government will say, okay, this is the standard of teaching that we expect in the university system. This is the kind of grant you must bring to the university system. This is the kind of thing you must do. And then the second side said, this is the money you must put in the university system. This is the salary you want to earn. And then you have a parameter to measure. Okay. And then if one fails the other, you ask questions. But all you hear is about, the salary, whatever. You never hear federal government asking for quality. You never hear the other side putting, clear request or criteria or whatever demand on behalf of Nigerians. Parents are not asking, and it's because parents are not asking. If parents are asking questions of government, government too will have to respond to parents and say, when your child comes home and he's not educated, did you ask a question? that I send this child to school for 5 years, but this child is not educated. What is going on?
But then you have some arguments saying that some professors of, like you have in a university, a professor of agriculture doesn't even have a farm. A professor of veterinary medicine might not even have a clinic. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, why doesn't he have a clinic?
All right.
I mean, that's the question. Why? Why hasn't he got a farm? Is it because we don't have land to farm? Or is it because there's no equipment on the farm? I mean, is it only the university that will provide the farm? If I'm a professor of literature, I have to get grants. I have to, yes, my university must give me its own support, institutional grant. That happens all the time, but I'm also go out. If I don't submit proposals, if I don't compete with industry, if I don't go out and collaborate with areas where I will get this grant, I will never get it. So that is part of what I'm saying. How is that professor assessed? You know, in Nigeria we don't assess professors. You know that? Once you're a professor, no more assessment. I mean, that is rubbish. Who does that in the world?
All right.
What great nation will leave the highest people who are the most matured in academia unassessed? Only in Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much for your time with us, Professor Abdulrasheed Na'Allah. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
Thank you.
One question keeps coming to my mind.
What is it?
Aside academic politics, any moves or any intention in the future to go into mainstream politics?
Me. Politics, forget it. I mean, I do politics as a teacher of literature, because literature is about life itself. I look at what is going on, not the politics the way it's defined in Nigeria. Yeah, not partisan, but politics is about analyzing what is going on, what must be the interest, the idea of criticizing, of exposing, of making sure parents are conscientized, of making sure that young people understand that their goal is not just about today, it's about the future, and that this nation is central to whatever we do.
Thank you so much for your time with us, Professor Abdulrasheed Na'Allah. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
I am grateful. Thank you for coming.
All right, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program. We've been talking to Professor Abdulrasheed Na'Allah. He is the current VC and CEO of University of Abuja, and it's been a wonderful time here on the show. I'm sure you must have been rightly educated, informed, and entertained. I will definitely see you next time, because you don't know who my next guest will be. From the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Annabelle Oji. God bless Nigeria.